Hello, today we're taking a step beyond the traditional PD pamphlet to this engaging training video. Our goal is to bridge the theoretical with the practical, understanding and applying the rich insights of Reggio, Montessori, and Freire philosophies beyond an early childhood education. Our collective objective is to delve deep into these transformative educational philosophies. We'll explore their application in modern classrooms and underscore the vital importance of acknowledging and cultivating each student's individual journey. Our journey begins in the mid-1940s in a small northern Italian town of Reggio, Emilia. Amidst the rubble of post-war Italy, a new vision for education was born, led by the progressive educator Loris Malaguzzi and the collective spirit of parents in the community. The first Reggio-inspired school was founded on the belief that children were not empty vessels to be filled, but rich with potential and ready to be active participants in their own growth. Loris Malaguzzi, the heart and soul of the Reggio movement, propelled this educational experiment. He believed in the 100 languages of children, the idea that children have multiple ways of thinking, playing, exploring, speaking, and doing. This philosophy officially took root with the opening of the first municipal preschool in Reggio Emilia in 1963. By the 1970s, the approach had caught the attention of the Italian government, leading to significant expansion. It wasn't long before the rest of the world began to take notice. In 1981, Newsweek declared a Reggio Emilia school as one of the best schools in the world, catapulting the approach to international acclaim.
My name is Leslie Hurd, and I'm the Atelierista at Temple Emmanuel Early Childhood Center. Some of the fundamental principles of the Reggio Emilia approach are about seeing the whole child, knowing who the child is at this moment in time, rather than trying to teach at them according to some kind of projection that you might have about where they should be and who they should be at this time. Also, one of the most important things to the Reggio Emilia approach is the importance of community, and that is within the school walls and without the walls. I mean, in terms of the education of the child, it's about raising citizens. It's so much more than just about what just happens in the classroom.
Let's unpack the pillars that define Reggio. Firstly, the image of a child, where every child is seen as competent, resourceful, and full of potential. Next, the environment as the third teacher, intentionally designed spaces that inspire exploration and discovery. Then, the importance of documentation, making learning visible through displaying and discussing children's projects. The teacher as a researcher, educators actively engaging in learning alongside children. And finally, the centrality of relationships, fostering a strong sense of community among children, teachers, and parents. These foundational principles of the Reggio approach do not lose their relevance as children grow older. On the contrary, they become more critical. When applied to older children, they encourage deep inquiry, complex problem solving, and a collaborative spirit that prepares students for the challenges of our world. As Malaguzzi said himself, our task regarding creativity is to help children climb their own mountains as high as possible. This remains our call to action, to apply the rich foundation of the Reggio Emilia approach to all levels of education, enabling every student to reach their highest potential. The Montessori method, a distinctive educational approach characterized by its respect for a child's natural psychological development, is as intriguing as it is effective. Let's explore its origins and principles, and how they apply to diverse classrooms today. Our story begins with Dr. Maria Montessori, whose scientific background in psychiatry, anthropology, and education led her to develop an educational philosophy that bears her name. In 1907, the first Casa del Bambini, or Children's House, opened in the San Lorenzo district of Rome, introducing a revolutionary child-centered approach to education. The success of Dr. Montessori's method was swift and far-reaching. By the 1910s, Montessori schools had begun to spread internationally, and by 1929, the Montessori method had taken the global stage with the establishment of the Association of Montessori Internationale. This belief gave rise to the Montessori classroom's hallmark features: mixed age groups, student-chosen work, and uninterrupted blocks of work time. In the Montessori setting, teachers serve as guides. Their role is to prepare the environment and then step back, allowing children the space to learn from their own discoveries. The focus is on fostering independence and a natural curiosity, with the teacher only intervening when necessary to support the child's learning. The principles of Montessori extend to include specially designed materials that encourage hands-on learning and self-correction, practical life skills that promote independence, and an emphasis on peace education and respect for others. These elements work in harmony to foster a love of learning and a sense of global citizenship. While traditionally associated with early childhood, the Montessori's principles are not confined by age. Today, educators are applying Montessori principles to elementary and secondary classrooms, finding that its respect for individual pacing, deep engagement with materials, and community responsibility resonate with older students as well. In Montessori's own words, we discover that education is not something which the teacher does, but that it is a natural process which develops spontaneously in the human being. It is this enduring insight that continues to inspire educators to adapt the Montessori method in diverse classrooms around the world, celebrating the natural unfolding of every student's learning journey. We now turn to the revolutionary work of Paulo Freire, a towering figure in modern pedagogy, whose ideas have reshaped our understanding of the educational process. Freire's approach challenges traditional paradigms, advocating for a dialogue-based, problem-posing education that empowers learners to question and transform their world. Born in Brazil in 1921, Paulo Freire was a critical thinker and educator who developed his pedagogy in the context of adult literacy programs during the 1960s. His seminal work, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, published in 1968, argued against the banking model of education, where knowledge is deposited into passive students. Freire's pedagogy is rooted in respect for the learner's experiences and emphasizes the development of critical consciousness, a deep awareness of the socio-political context surrounding education. It invites students to become creators of knowledge and active participants in their own learning journey.
I discovered that I have to create in myself a certain virtue without which it's difficult for me to understand the others. The virtue of tolerance. It is through the exercise of tolerance that I discover the rich possibility of doing things and learning different things with different people. Being tolerant is not a question of being naive. On the contrary, it is a duty to be tolerant, an ethical duty, a historical, a political duty. But it does not demand from me to lose my personality.
In contrast to Montessori or the Reggio approaches, which focus heavily on the individual's interaction with the environment and materials, Freire places a greater emphasis on dialogue and the development of critical thinking. His approach is less about the physical space of learning and more about the interactions and relationships within that space. While Montessori and Reggio create carefully prepared environments for self-directed learning, Freire's model encourages a different kind of self-direction, one that is dialogic and always questioning.
Each day, occurrences of daily life and reflect about what you see as part of our daily life is one of the major themes of Paulo Freire work. And that is how I see my work being done as well as a critical pedagogue. I try to instill in my students that same type of attitude that you cannot take for granted the work of an educator and overlook what you do day to day. We have to pay attention in the day-to-day occurrences to be able to reflect, act, and change what is not working, especially what is not working for the disadvantageous piece or segment of society, for the people who are not in power or have no power to control their lives.
All three philosophies share a deep respect for the student's voice, but they diverge in their methods of facilitation to the extent by which they address social justice issues. Imagine a new theory of learning that infuses the Reggio Emilia approach with Freire's passion for justice and self-advocacy. In this space, the environment is rich with possibilities for exploration, and the curriculum is alive with opportunities for students to investigate their world, question the status quo, and advocate for change. This fusion approach champions the individual creativity and expression found in Reggio and Montessori, while also instilling Freire's commitment to justice and empowerment. Students learn not only to shape their environment, but also to understand and transform their social realities. By blending the principles from these three philosophies, we create an educational experience that is both imaginative and socially aware. This hybrid pedagogy encourages students to be the artisans of their own education and the architects of a more just society. The heart of education lies in acknowledging the rich individuality of each student. Every child enters the classroom with a unique tapestry of experiences, knowledge, and talents. As educators, our role is not just to teach, but to recognize and foster each student's distinctive journey. Meeting students as individuals is a multifaceted practice. It starts with observation, understanding who our students are, what they love, where they struggle, and how they connect with the world around them. This knowledge becomes the cornerstone of personalized education. From observation springs action. We tailor learning experiences to align with each student's ability and aspiration, crafting personalized learning pathways that are as diverse as the learners themselves. This bespoke approach ensures that education is relevant and engaging for every child. Expression is a fundamental human need. In our classrooms, we cultivate a culture where students feel safe and valued sharing their thoughts and ideas. We celebrate their voices and encourage them to take ownership of their learning journey, fostering a sense of agency and confidence. Respecting student autonomy goes hand in hand with promoting individuality. Autonomy encourages a sense of responsibility and investment in each student's learning. It empowers students to navigate their educational path, fostering a sense of regulation, motivation, and a passion for lifelong learning.
I know that I can't use a one-size-fits-all approach to how I talk to any people in my life. So why would I treat the children that I work with on a daily basis the same way? If there are children who have a hard time sitting in a chair for meeting or for working at the table, let them stand. There's nothing that says that each child has to be sitting in the exact same way at the same time. When we're together, we're thinking, we're talking, we're living together, but we don't have to do everything the same way.
In our classrooms, students are not just recipients of knowledge. They're active participants, decision makers, and self-advocates. This democratic approach ensures that education is not something that happens to them, but something in which they are deeply involved.
None of us like being told what we need to do, when, where, how, with whom. There's nothing that's more demotivating than that. And if you're not motivated, you don't actually learn. There's no way to force a kid to learn. They have to actually go along with a certain experience. They have to actually think.
As we commit to meeting each student as an individual, we are not only honoring their unique identities, but also equipping them with the tools to shape their own futures. It is through this personalized approach that we can light the spark of curiosity and drive for discovery that will carry them through their academic careers and beyond.
Autonomy it's the bottom line for me. In education, it shouldn't be about control. It should be about finding our truth. And that comes from being able to choose. And autonomy plays into our physical safety and our mental health and our creativity and everything, I think, comes back to that.
Self-regulation is the ability to understand and manage one's own behavior and reactions. In the classroom, this translates to students setting their own goals, monitoring their own practice, and reflecting on outcomes. It is about cultivating an inner discipline that guides them, not just in school, but in all aspects of their life. Autonomy in education is about fostering a sense of independence. When students are given the autonomy to make choices about their learning, they develop a sense of ownership and responsibility. This empowerment leads to an intrinsic motivation to learn, explore, and to challenge themselves. Let's consider a classroom not just as a space for academic instruction, but as a training ground for life. As educators, we strive to create an environment where students can practice autonomy safely, a place where they can experiment with decision-making, understand the consequences of their choices, and build the confidence to stand by their actions. However, autonomy doesn't mean a lack of guidance. Teachers play a crucial role in structuring choices and boundaries within which students can operate freely. This balanced approach ensures that students learn to navigate the complexities with freedom. Self-regulation also involves self-reflection, an integral part of the learning process. Reflection allows students to pause and consider their learning experiences, understand their personal and academic growth, and make informed choices moving forward. But we should not just be teaching students to learn. We should be teaching them to think, to evaluate, and to grow as individuals. They should not be mimicking or copying our own behavior or models. We're teaching them to be free-thinking and craft their own opinions and make their own choices about their actions. Teacher preparation is the bedrock upon which the transformative educational experience is built. It is a meticulous process that involves both careful crafting of the curriculum and the intentional design of the learning environment. Let's delve into how educators can prepare and inspire to engage learners every day. The environment is often referred to as the third teacher and plays a critical role in supporting the educational philosophy of the classroom. Whether inspired by Reggio, Emilia, Montessori, or Freire, the space should be a reflection of the students who inhabit it, inviting, inclusive, and conducive to exploration. Every corner of the classroom, every piece of material, and every displayed work holds potential for learning or self-reflection. Teachers act like architects, designing the space to not only be aesthetically pleasing, but also functional, accessible, and adaptable to the evolving needs of their students. In the age of digital transformation, curriculum planning has transcended traditional boundaries. Educators now have access to a plethora of resources that can be tailored to the diverse learning styles and interests of their students. The goal is to create a living curriculum that is dynamic, culturally responsive, and enriched with real-world connections. From Reggio-inspired ateliers to Montessori materials, from Freirean dialogue circles to high-tech labs, the learning environment is a global canvas. Teachers draw inspiration from a variety of sources, ensuring their classrooms are equipped to offer world-class education. Ongoing professional development is essential. As educators, we are lifelong learners committed to refining our practice. By being informed about the latest educational research and strategies, we can continue to innovate and inspire, shaping the minds and hearts of our students. Assessment is a compass that guides the educational journey, providing direction and feedback for both teachers and students. But the true north of assessment has evolved and now points towards a more holistic understanding of a student's capabilities and achievements. Let's explore the innovative metrics that are reshaping the landscape of assessment.
I mean, children are viewed as human capital when they're in school. It's, you get to school, you get good grades so that you can get a good job and you can stimulate the economy, and children are viewed as human capital from the jump.
Gone are the days when success of a student should be measured solely by standardized testing. Today, we recognize that effective assessment is multifaceted, capturing a myriad of skills and intelligences. Portfolios, for instance, allow for a rich cumulative record of a student's learning journey, showcasing growth over time. Performance-based assessments, such as plays, debates, or presentations, offer students the stage to demonstrate their learning in dynamic and authentic ways. They also provide educators with a window into the student's application of skills into real-world contexts. Self-assessment empowers students to reflect critically on their learning, fostering a sense of ownership and intrinsic motivation. When students assess their work, they engage in metacognitive practices that are essential for lifelong learning. Technology, too, has revolutionized assessment. Digital tools not only streamline the collection and analysis of data, but can also provide innovative platforms for students to demonstrate understanding. From interactive quizzes to digital storytelling, technology allows for immediate feedback and personalized learning experiences. Feedback is the heartbeat of effective assessment. Timely, specific, and constructive feedback not only guides improvement, but also encourages students to persevere. Through dialogue, teachers can provide support that is responsive to each student's needs and learning styles. As we embrace these diverse metrics of assessment, we create a culture of learning that values process more than product. By doing so, we honor the uniqueness of each learner and provide a more comprehensive view of their understanding and abilities. In the ever-evolving landscape of education, technology has emerged as a pivotal element in shaping modern learning experiences. It is no longer a question of if technology integrates education, but how we can best harness its potential to enrich and expand the learning journey. Let's dive into the dynamic role of technology in today's classrooms. The digital age has brought a wealth of resources to our fingertips. Technology in education enables personalized learning experiences where students can explore subjects at their own pace and in their own style. Digital tools provide diverse avenues for learning, catering to different interests and learning modalities. For educators, technology is a powerful ally in lesson planning and delivery. It offers a platform for creative teaching methodologies, from flipped classrooms to gamified learning experiences. Moreover, technology provides invaluable data analytics, helping teachers to track progress and tailor instruction to meet the needs of each student. Imagine taking your students on a journey through an ancient ruin or inside the human body, all from the safety of the classroom. Virtual and augmented reality technologies can make this possible, turning the classroom into a portal to the world and beyond. These immersive experiences deepen understanding and ignite curiosity in ways traditional methods might not be able to. Collaboration is a key skill in our interconnected world. Technology facilitates collaborative learning, allowing students to work together on projects, share ideas, give feedback, regardless of geographical barriers. This prepares them for a future where digital collaboration is the norm in many professions. Technology also extends the walls of the classroom. Through online platforms, learning can continue beyond school hours, providing opportunities for students to seek help, access resources, and engage their peers and teachers in a flexible and supportive online environment. Incorporating technology in education is not just about staying current, it's about preparing our students for a future that is digital, connected, and constantly evolving. As educators, our challenge is to integrate technology in a way that enhances learning, fosters digital literacy, and inspires a generation of informed and tech-savvy individuals. The role of an educator is both a privilege and a responsibility. Its commitment to continual learning, to embracing change, and fostering environments where students can flourish. Our journey doesn't end here. It continues in every lesson we plan, every classroom interaction, and in every student's moments of discovery.